Do you want to add communication services like SMS, video, and chat to your Power Platform solutions? Well, JJ and David are here to show us how it's done with Azure Communication Services on the low-code revolution. Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Low-Code Revolution. Today, we're joined by JJ and David, who are here to talk about how we can integrate Azure Communication Services with the Power Platform. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi, thanks for having us here.
Thanks. Well, how about you share a little bit about what you do at Microsoft here with everyone that's watching, starting with you, JJ.
Yeah, I'm a product manager in Azure Communication Services, and I'm working with the Developer Experience Group. So we work on making the developer journey as pleasanter and faster to adopt ACS technologies. David?
I work with JJ on developer experience for Azure Communication Services. I'm excited in getting in touch with all the low-code developers and how we can help them bring communications into their applications.
Oh, very excited to have you both here. For those watching that might not be familiar, could you do a little bit of a background on what Azure Communication Services is and what it offers?
Absolutely. So Azure Communication Services is all about bringing communication capabilities to your applications or to your customers' applications. It's a reliable platform that brings services like voice, video, chat, email, and other communication capabilities. As I mentioned, we have this set of offerings in our platform, and I would like to touch on some of the capabilities. So ACS is identity agnostic. You can bring your own identity. It's also in Azure services and Azure service, and as such, you pay for what you use, so it's not license-based. And very importantly, we're built on the same platform that powers Teams and Skype, so it's reliable and it's secure. We provide support to common developer platforms and languages, and we offer interoperability with Azure and M365, particularly with Teams. We've seen very interesting use cases. Lately, and I'm excited to be here to talk about how we're bringing those capabilities to the Power Platform. So I'm going to start by talking a little bit about the Power Automate connectors. Works in Logic Apps and Power Apps, and we've created these connectors for SMS that allow you to send SMS or receive an SMS. The user identity connector, it's very important to create tokens and manage user tokens when you are interacting with a chat, for example. The calling connector is still in development, and then the email connector allow you to send email, get email statuses, and for chat, you get all the actions that you would expect on a chat connector. For talking about other components that we've been working on the Power Platform, David will talk to you about PCF components. David?
Yeah, so as part of our Power Apps story for Azure Communication Services, we've also been working on an initial set of PCF components that would allow you to be able to drag and drop calling and chat components into your Power App applications. These components are built on top of our existing UI library for Azure Communication Services, and we're going to be sharing them very soon with all of you to start using them.
Very cool. So it looks like we have some connectors so we can integrate with that, some SMS, and then also these PCF controls look really cool. I've seen a few uses of, say, like Power Pages to do some like telehealth like applications. It seems like a really good fit for that. I'd love to see if you have a demo of what these controls and connectors look like.
Yeah, absolutely, April. We came ready with a demo that we wanted to share with all of you, and we can head into it now. So the demo that we're going to show has a couple of different components to it. It starts with a Power App where we're hooking in a number of Power Automate flows, as well as some of the PCF components that we talked about. So we'll start here where you're welcome to Contoso Gym. This might be an application that might be running on a tablet or on a screen somewhere in your gym where you can come in and sign up. And so I'll go ahead and input my name, my phone number, as well as my email into the form, and I'm gonna choose a trainer for me. And so I'm a big Terminator fan, so I'm gonna pick Arnold Schwarzenegger as my trainer, and I'll go ahead and sign up. What this is doing behind the scenes is that it's actually signing us up, so putting our record into a table, but it's also notifying me as a user across a number of different channels that my subscription is now live and ready to be used. So once this finishes loading, which takes a couple seconds, we will have all those identities created, and I'll get notified kind of across all my channels. So this is kind of the first channel where you'll see the notification come through, where we're now, this is one of those PCF chat components that we talked about, which can be easily drag and drop. And I'm able to interact with like my trainer, in this case, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Similarly, I also have here just my phone, where you can see that I got a notification from Contoso Gym with my trainer. And here I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to say hey and interact with that trainer. One of the cool things that we did is that with all this rage around OpenAI and these conversational bots, we actually hooked up a bot behind the scenes that is actually trained on Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes. So you have a motivational trainer like Arnold at your fingertips. And so let's say I will tell it, I am tired and don't want to go to the gym. Let's see what Arnold has to say about that. And so this is just to showcase how easy it is to plug in Azure Communication Services, all of our different channels with these power flows that not only interact with things like tables, but also interact with even other services like Azure OpenAI. So here Arnold actually is telling me, no pain, no gain. You got to push through. Thank you, Arnold. So this was just a quick demo that we had prepared. Now we'll kind of go in behind the scenes and show you how we built it. And we're going to start real quick on the Azure portal itself, where in order to be able to leverage Azure Communication Services, we want to start by providing you the capabilities with the resource itself. So here I have a test resource that I've already pre-created, but just as easily, you're able to come in here and be able to create your own resource through the marketplace. So we have our communications resource right here, which you can create. Once you have one created, like I did, one of the key steps that we followed for this demo was just the procuring of a phone number. This will be necessary for us to be able to interact with things like SMS, like you just saw. And making it easy for us to have that channel to communicate with our customers. Once you have the actual resource created, we can then focus on some of the flows that we have enabled. And so I'll actually go real quick back to the Power App to kind of show how some of the things are connected all together. So here on the Power App itself, we have this very simple form that is all connected up to this button that we've created. The button itself is triggering our flow for signup, which is at the same time triggering a second flow for the notifications. We then have that PCF component that we talked about, which has been dragged and dropped onto the page. So you can see that this is a component I can move around, which has our entire chat within it. And that has been initialized with the information for the user that we've generated, as well as the information for the thread that we've created for that unique user. This component, again, we think it's pretty cool, like how easy it allows you to kind of bring chat. And we're also working on versions of these components for calling as well, which are going to allow you to do a similar experience with calling. Then behind the scenes, we have a third flow that is helping us with that interaction with Arnold on getting those responses back. And so I'll start with showcasing that flow, and then I'm going to hand it off to JJ, who's going to talk through the other two flows that I mentioned. So for the flow that we have where we're interacting with Arnold Schwarzenegger and where we're sending messages in and Arnold is basically responding back, we're actually leveraging the Event Grid connector for Power Automate as a very easy way for us to actually hook into the Azure Communication Services event system. So Azure Communication Services, we have out of the box a number of events that you can consume. You can see kind of a full list of them. But in this case, I'm particularly interested in being able to know when my resource has received text messages as well as when it has received chat messages. With those two events, I'm then able to have a switch statement where, depending on the type of message that's coming in, I'm deciding what channel I'm responding to. In both cases, we're leveraging the REST HTTP connector to actually make a call to OpenAI, where we are procuring we're sending in the message that is coming in, and we are getting back the response. And we're just adding to that message a very easy prompt around Arnold/Class just to make the bot believe that it is Arnold. And then we're just as easily using the connectors that JJ had mentioned before around SMS and chat to basically respond to those messages. So we have a connector for sending SMS where with that phone number that we have for Azure Communication Services and the message, we're able to respond. And then similarly for chat, we're able to respond to that specific thread that we have with the user with the content. I'll now hand it over to JJ, who's going to walk through the other two flows that we have available.
Thank you, David. So as David was mentioning, the first flow that gets triggered when you sign up is this one. And basically here we'll be doing two things. We'll be getting the system user information. This is the user that we have created in a Azure account storage table for creating other users and tokens. Then we'll initialize that variable and issue an access token for the system user. Then we'll create parallelly a new ID for the member, and then use these two things to create a chat with that particular customer. We will persist all of this information in a table so that you can do things like the flow that David was showing. And then from here, once we have done, this is kind of all the setup that you need, we will just run a child flow that will take care of the notification. So for the child flow, which is this one, it will do the same email and then send SMS and chat in the same fashion that David was showing. And then of course you have to respond to an Power App or flow in order to Power App to pick up the finish of the thread. So yeah, that's the two flows we wanted to, or the three flows that we wanted to showcase.
Wow, I love that. And I love how it's just all baked right into the product using out-of-the-box connectors, showing the real power of the Power Platform, being able to integrate your custom controls to it, and then being able to use the connector model to do all those flows and all the complex logic you have too. Even integrating the OpenAI in there was amazing. I love that. It was a really cool demo there. So this, I can envision so many different use cases for integrating this Azure Communication Services stuff with the Power Platform. Curious where people can go, though, to learn more if they want to get started, maybe diving a little bit more deeper into this and exploring use cases.
Sure. We'll be sharing here some links to get started on the different components, Power App component and PCF components, and also to learn more on Azure Communication Services.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and showing off this Azure Communication Services capability with the Power Platform. Make sure to check out the resources that we'll provide in the video notes here, and we'll see you next time on the Low Code Revolution.